7.5, 8, 38.
Yeah.
Let's try this. Just to check the size. Then we'll see our options and colors, everything. And this is the.
For me, okay.
What are your size?
10.
10? Yeah. Try this, just for the size. What about you? Half and 38 with 4. Let's give it a try. And Paola is here. The one we're waiting for. Bailando. Oh, and we're gonna be famous. But before we get there, I wanted to tell you that you will be choosing a lot of things. Please don't be stressed about it. There is a lot of options, too many. To be more specific, to be more specific, 92,248 options. It's a lot. This is about the experience, not about the shoe, alright? So choose something you like, but don't be too stressed about it, because for real there will be a lot of options. So the one included in the experience is the traditional, the flat classic, okay? Usually we focus on the flat. If any of you is super crazy about wedges or heels, you can do a heel. It will be more complicated and it's got an extra cost, but we have it just in case you might already on the Airbnb, because some people just don't wear flats. If you wear flats are cool and they are good, okay? Otherwise, the heel looks like this. But that's only if you need a heel in your life. It looks like this, alright? It's a middle weight. It's comfy for every day, but it's a little bit more difficult to make. Muy bien. With that said, let's get to it. The first question would be, girl, if you know what the word espadrilles means. Wrong, but good guess. Espadrilles, but you heard the word espadrilles before, right? Espadrilles, everyone is using the word espadrilles. I'm gonna lower the music a little bit. Much of a band here. Everyone is using the word espadrilles nowadays. You've seen all the big brands, right? I guess in Minnesota you have Gucci, Chanel, Tory Burch, all of those making beautiful espadrilles. And give it a try. If you're gonna ask them at the counter, those selling espadrilles for $1,000, they don't even know what the word means. All right? And today you're going to, because you are becoming local, you are becoming an insider when it comes to espadrilles. And get this, espadrilles in English means nothing. It's not English, all right? It's not English, it's Catalan. Catalan is the language we speak in here. You might have heard that, right? We don't speak Spanish, we speak Catalan. It's a mix between Spanish and French and Italian. And in Catalan, there is a word that is pronounced espardeña. Can you say espardeña?
Espadrilles.
That's actually pretty good. Better than expected. Can you say espardeña?
Espadrilles.
Uy, espardeña. 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 You feel it, it's a difficult word, right? Because the R and the Ñ are complicated sounds that do not exist in English. That's the only reason the word espadrille exists. It's a phonetic transcription. It's an easy way to say espardeña. So from now on, today we're not going to make it easy for you. You have to call them espardeña. You are making espardeñas. And actually, even more specific, espardeña is not the shoe. Espardeña is something else. Can you guess what espardeña might be? Espardeña. What do you feel like when you pronounce it? Espardeña. The what?
The design.
The design.
The feel.
The feel. The feel. The feeling.
The weave.
Weed. The what?
Weave?
The weed. You're getting closer. The espardeña. What else? Wild guess. Some people they happen a region of Spain, an ice cream flavor. None of those things. Espardeña, surprisingly enough, is the plant. It's the plant we use to make the shoes.
Oh my god.
And it's a horrible plant.
No, it's a plant.
It's horrible because it looks like this, and it's crunchy and pinchy. You see, you would never make shoes with this.
Yeah.
No? And it breaks easily, so it's a horrible thing to make shoes with. Why do we use it? There is only one reason, and you girls know this. Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes.
Necessity is the mother of invention. It's the only reason we use this plant, out of necessity. Not now, But 1,000 years ago, people in here were very poor. In the Middle Ages, they were super poor. 95% of the population, they were peasants, just barely keeping alive. So they didn't have access to cotton, leather, linen, those fancy materials, as well for novelty and kings. So poor people would use this horrible thing out of necessity. This thing had no use, so it was for free. So it was a long process to make a shoe. It takes 48 hours. You don't have that much time, you're turning around. Let me do long story short in 1 minute, but at least you get some context of how difficult this was. So if you were super poor 1,000 years ago and you wanted new shoes, the first thing you had to do is to wander around the fields. You would find this for free, laying there because it was the leftover of plantations. You could get this for free, nobody else was using it. You would get some pounds of it and then go to a river, tie, so it would hang floating there in running water in a river for 24 hours. After that time, you would see how this material would absorb the liquid and it would get swollen up, like that. And when you see that, you would know that this was ready for you to hammer it, and you would go and hammer it. And you would hammer this for 6 to 8 hours. I know, yeah, necessity, it's a long job. Oh my God. After you do this, something magic would happen. You would separate hard fibers from soft fiber. Hard fibers in here, mostly the casket of it, is very light. Actually, it's hard but light, so it would go away with the river. And the soft part that you can see in here, the soft part is actually heavy. It will sink. So by doing this, after 32 hours, hard would go, soft would stay with you. So this horrible thing would become this less horrible thing. These two things are exactly the same.
Yes.
All right? And with this thing, now you could braid it into ropes. All right? Because this is now soft, it doesn't break, and you can braid into ropes. And ropes are useful, but still far from a shoe. How do you make a shoe out of a rope? Again, a whole new challenge. Again, necessity is the mother of our invention. 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, and 4 fingers. 1 hand. Then you do the same thing with the other hand. Like this. And then you will wrap them together. What does it look like?
The shoe.
The shoe?
Yes.
What part of the shoe?
So.
The sole. Muy bien. The sole of the shoe. Muy bien. The bottom. So basically this. 1 hand, 2 hands, and then together. So next time, girls, you go to Tory Burch. This is beautiful Espadrilles for $1,000. They're vegan, eco-friendly, sustainable. You tell them. I know Luis. Those fancy words did not exist 1,000 years ago. This is not a Tory Burch design. This is the shape of the poor people of Catalonia making these shoes with their own hands out of useless plants because of necessity. But still, truth be told, to be honest, these are vegan, eco-friendly, and sustainable. But not because a design, it's just only because it's the only way things were 1,000 years ago. Glue did not exist, at least in here, all right? And that's how you make an outer sole that is flexible, breathable, soft, out of useless, horrible plants. Next step was to put an upper on top of it. These people were very poor. The only thing they had for free was sack material because they were peasants. So they would take a piece of a sack, maybe sometimes carpet material, old clothing, old rags. That's why sometimes Espadrilles are kind of crazy because they would take any piece, put a hole in the middle, and they would stitch it on top of the outer sole. And that started to resemble, not a tom, not toms, but what an espardeña looked like in Catalonia, like this, all right, like a shoe. But there was one more challenge, and that was the size. The size was not obvious 1,000 years ago. They didn't have a metric system. It's not even obvious today. You've seen it before, right? US 9, UK 6, Spanish 40, Mexican 5, Japanese 240. Difficult. 1,000 years ago, they didn't know how to get it right. Again, out of necessity, they would be very creative. What they would do is the following. They would stitch ropes on top of the upper in a very ugly way, but useful, because when you pull from the ribbons, the back, the whole thing shrinks in width and also in length. They would make the shoes totally adjustable. And then they would leave this long, not to be sexy, but to anchor the foot to it to work for long hours. Because these were the working shoes of the poor people of Catalonia. Now turn into a beautiful looking thing like this. But hopefully, when you see that now, you don't see just a fancy shoe. You see a whole story because you understand the ropes, the sack material, the spiral shape on the inside, the ribbons on top is not decoration. It's a way to adjust the size. And the long sexy ribbons, even though they're sexy, is actually a way to anchor the foot to it. And you see Paola is making a very special way of tying, so it anchors really well and it looks beautiful. We're gonna teach you today how to lace them up properly because there are 3 ways to lace them up and each way means different things. So there's a cultural background after the way you lace up. Low class and upper class would tie them differently. This is upper class, right? No one is, we don't care. We do just whatever we like. But this is how upper class would lace them up on the past, all right? And this is the easy part. Because that way you learn about the context, but then you're gonna make your own pair. It is difficult because of 2 reasons, all right? Just to be upfront. First, because of the many options. So again, don't stress too much. And second, because it's real. This is something still Catalan people we do. For fun, not for necessity. But a lot of local people come to do this. And one thing you need to learn about local people here, Catalonians, in case you don't know yet, they hate fake things. They even hate tourism if it's not authentic. So if we do this adapted to foreigners, they will kill us. Personally and online. So this is real, so it's gonna feel a little challenging or very challenging. We've done this many times. This is, I'm not making this up. This is our session number 1916. So it's a lot of sessions. So we know how it goes. Please bear with us. For the first 10 minutes, you're gonna think, oh my gosh, what did I get into? Then 10 minutes after, you will say, okay, it's kind of cool. And we can promise you, if you stay until the end, please do, everyone stays until the end. This is gonna be one of the best memories that you will have from Barcelona. A memory that you can wear. Just super cool. When you go around Minnesota and everyone's going, oh my God! You tell them I met them in Barcelona. You cannot have it. That's the idea. But it takes time. You're gonna suffer a little bit, and it's on purpose, alright? You're in good hands, alright? Don't worry. We're gonna help you out. But not too much. We're gonna let you suffer a little bit so you feel like it's actually a thing that you're doing, alright? And with that said, let's get to the designing of the shoe. Because you're gonna be choosing every single detail. The size you already know. Then the canvas. The canvas you can choose whether you like it navy blue or cream or black. Then you can also choose if you like closed sides or open sides, like Paola. You see there are 2 different types of espadrilles. Then you can choose the type of stitching. Depending on the region of Spain, we make them differently. This is the traditional Catalan stitching, right? The type of stitching you're using. Because in Pamplona, which is where they run from bulls, they make them like this. You see, very tight. Exactly, run faster.
Keep them up.
Then in Galicia is another region of Spain. You might have heard about it. Camino de Santiago. People walk for months. They use 3 colors like that. And in Andalusia, which is the south of Spain, an area that was conquered by the Arabs for 700 years, they made them like this. All right? So, there is no easy here. We ran out of easy. This is difficult. This is very difficult. This is impossible. This one, I don't even know how to make it. All right? This is just for you to learn how it looks. I'm going to take this out of the table so you don't hit me. All right? Bye-bye. Today you can do difficult and very difficult. And for real, it's difficult and very difficult, all right? But you will also be choosing what type of stitching you want to do. Catalan or Pamplona. This is something we can make for you, if you like, but not something you can make on your first espadrille. And now, it's time to choose. So this would be kind of in between, you see? This is simple Catalan, a little bit more compressed Catalan, and then Pamplona. You see the evolution? Same concept, but evolved. So,
Yeah, sounds correct.
so let's get to it. You know your size?
Yes.
No one will believe you.
No.
I just want to like prop it up somewhere. Get the
Nice. You have the ribbon. Now pass through the needle, please.
Anywhere?
Yeah, both sides in the needles. Yes, like that, like a ballerina.
One, like this, a little bit of tail, not too much. And then the other needle at the other end of the same ribbon. Make sure it's the same ribbon.
Put it down a little bit.
Nice, Carissa. Here. We will start here, one finger separation. Then you do one big,
Oh, not 2 fingers, Kristen.
not 2 fingers. One
She told me
finger.
2 fingers.
Well, mine was 2 fingers, wasn't it?
This is one finger.
And then the symmetry.
Big
Okay.
Okay.
Don't worry, they're
So
gonna
here
look
we
beautiful
will
anyway.
start.
It's good.
With you, we will use different. We will need, like you put one finger, hold,
Yeah.
okay? More or less. And then here, another finger, and you will do it 4 times. So you will need 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Okay? With your finger. Hold, and that's
Okay.
yes, there you go. Make it bigger. The holes, like
Okay.
don't be afraid to do it. Let me see.
Make the hole big.
With you,
Don't be afraid.
you will
No.
need just
Yes.
two holes in the
Too easier
middle.
to
So
fix.
try to do it same separation. You are doing this and this. That's
Yeah.
why we need tick, tick, tick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more?
Yeah, one
Yeah.
more. Then the same in the other side. Let me see, perfecto. Nice. Now, for you, if you have all the holes in the shoe, you take both. Now you do the same in the other shoe. Yeah?
No, but it's good, it's good. Mira,
And
Paola.
you see, yeah.
Estas, toca terminarla.
Sí.
Y si viene entre la 11 y las 12 de la mañana. Y hay que hacer esta también. Pero en catalán, eso no es todo. Si quieres, tú voy a decir un poquito. Exacto, no es así. Estoy contenta ahí, pues tú lo vas haciendo, ¿vale?
Tienen los hoyos ya hechos. Nice, girls. I will stitch with you.
She's
I
gonna do
will do
one.
the same. So let
Keep it
me
faster.
see. How are you doing? Nice. So in this case, we are making this hole. Can you see? That's it. So that's why we need
Muy bien.
same separation. 1, 2, 3.
And you're
If
ready.
you do all this here,
So we're gonna start
you will stitch in this
inside out.
side,
You too.
just in this
We're gonna
side.
start inside out
So
to the
let's
frontal
do it
hole.
again. Try to do all along.
So you go
here.
and check
You do
and
one,
pass to the frontal hole.
and
Busy. And in here
there.
is where it feels
you have it.
difficult.
Face,
It's pulling but also moving, so it finds
now,
way through.
This one we close.
Alright? And then the same thing with the other hand. The other hand.
The same. One. This one is good. The first one.
Should I pull it all the way through?
Exactly, all the way through,
If it's
so
not
they're
equal,
even.
Then you will have the sticks like.
Muy bien. Easy.
Not even.
This is still the easy part. I keep saying that, but I want you to be proud. It's gonna get more complicated. Muy bien.
Doesn't matter what side they're all the
Now you have. Can you see? One,
No, because
two,
now with
three.
the fingers we can trick it.
1, 2, 3.
So now
Okay.
this one,
Okay. Yeah, we'll do the same.
You're gonna go to the first hole.
And you're gonna start.
And
going
this one to the
inside
other.
out through this hole.
and with the finger you can trick it so it looks beautiful. It's not the same this
Right.
than this.
Yep.
You wanna make it beautiful.
Ah, they're entwined.
And that's
Moving
the
like
same.
this, it finds way through. It's
Like-
pulling and moving at the same time.
So wiggle, wiggle, and pull at the same time.
Pull and wiggle. Pull and wiggle. Pull. Eso. Ahí va. And then the other one. Muy bien. Easy. Now this one goes to the first hole. You see? And this one, when I tweak it so it looks beautiful, right? So instead of like this, I move it so that it this one.
Okay.
So my
Okay.
other.
Okay.
Yes.
Going for my
Outside
other
in.
hole.
Exactly. Both outside.
And make sure they're both equally long. They're even. Let's make sure that they're even. Let's see. Yeah, they're good. It's good. It's good. A bit. Next step. Next step with this one. I'm gonna turn it so it looks beautiful.
Okay.
This one's gonna go to the first hole.
Okay.
And this one to the other.
Okay.
Outside in. Pull and move it. Pull eso. Move it. And make sure they're even. Let's see, they're even. No. Right? Eso. Like that. Muy bien.
Does it matter which side I do first?
No.
No, it's good.
Then do always the same at the first. No,
Okay.
if you go right, always put right the first.
One. And then the other. Outside in the first hole, is it?
Oh.
Muy bien. Easy. And now we're getting to the serious stuff.
Yes.
Now it's going to get tricky. I'm going to wait till everyone is in the same stage and explain it, alright?
Okay. Is that okay?
Always work with the hand inside. So like that you will stitch with the shoe open. If not,
Exactly,
we
not too
stitch
tight.
like this.
She means not to make it too tight. You put your hand inside and open wide palm because you have to put your foot in. So it's not a tight stitching, it's more like a loose stitching. Like this.
Okay.
Looking good. I will go here. Yeah.
So yes, that's super dangerous.
Yeah.
We always pull outside. Okay? Never to you, never to your neighbor.
Don't kill your neighbor.
Even if you don't like
No promises. I feel like I'm gonna
always
poke.
there's outside.
But we never had an accident yet. Only to
Good to
us.
know.
They only teach us.
Okay.
That's why we are protected with this
Yeah.
That's
armor.
why we have this.
Muy bien, looking good. Easy, right? Kind of?
Easy.
Easy, muy bien. And then that one there. Like this. Okay?
Same hole or oh.
With that, yeah.
Yes.
And then the same needle that came in is gonna go out to that hole. So you see, same side. This here came in, then it goes out to the new hole. Like this. You see? And then like that.
Oh, until the end.
You see? So there's no crisscross on the inside. Muy bien. So now, ever lived in Barcelona? Who's that? Have you ever heard about Salvador Dali?
Yes. Yeah.
This is Salvador Dali. He was not poor at all. He was rich. He was the first rich person to use espadrilles, the shoe of the poor people. He would wear espadrilles everywhere. And it happens that when he emigrated to France, he had to live in Paris. And do you want to freak out? Do you want to know who he lived with?
A fashion designer.
Someone who nobody knew by that time. Called Coco Chanel.
Oh.
10 years later, surprisingly, Coco Chanel presented her new invented design called Espadrilles, the runways in Paris. When you go to fashion school, they teach Coco Chanel invented espadrilles.
Wow.
Now you know, it doesn't make any sense. 1,000 years before her, people were using them here. Dali was crazy enough to use them, and Coco Chanel was smart enough to add a heel to it. So smart people create, geniuses copy. Coco Chanel was the one who made espadrilles famous.
Is this
My favorite is
The pink one.
the pink one, yeah, my favorite.
Perfecto. And now here we make two holes back here. So here you have 1, 2. And we pass the ribbon. Tick, tick. Here, same. We do 1 and 2. And we pass the ribbon through this. And that's it. You finish.
A partir del 42 vale mi avión
Tic,
más.
tic.
El tema bueno. Porque tú tienes aquí ya.
So,
Vine a buscarlas para mi hermana.
¿Y se puso contenta? ¿Cuál le diste?
En aquel beige clarito.
Ah, cremita.
Sí,
so beautiful.
It's exactly the same thing, but it's not called champagne because it's
Now,
not
let me just do the same in the other
Champagne is
side.
a
and we
region
can
in
make it.
France.
Okay. Now, you will take this extreme and you will go. Like a
In
normal
certain
nut.
regions of Spain, just for you to know,
Oh, what?
they have this for
Oh,
breakfast.
hold on.
When you go to a hotel,
Like this?
they'll have coffee, milk, and cava.
Yeah, and then you go
Wait a
inside
Yeah.
1 and 2 times.
Sometimes they add orange juice to it.
Okay?
Mimosas.
Exactly, it's the same.
Don't worry. Here, take your.
In
you
here we call it
take
agua de
the
Valencia.
ribbon, you will go
Water from Valencia, they call it.
inside here. 1 time, okay. Oh, second time.
And
Okay.
Yeah, and you go until the end of the ribbon, like this. You
so
go.
beautiful
So you keep
girls.
going?
Yes, like this, but you have to take the string. Okay, like this.
All the way to the end.
Until the end.
Congratulations on your first.
I can do it, don't worry. But I
Yes,
want
what do
you
you-
to know
Right.
how to do it.
Congratulations!
Nice.
Abajo, al centro y para adentro. Salud.
Charm.
I'll put some right by
Here, the charm. Then we just see the
Got
lungs.
scissors.
Yeah, perfecto. And here
Can I have
we
the
will make
scissors,
the nuts at the end. So with you, as
cut
you
it
have
down.
this sticker, you will need 2
I'm gonna
and
make
until
one
the
and
end.
you repeat the other, alright?
Okay.
So,
All over.
cut it
until
diagonal,
the end.
be able to thread it,
Here we just
and then you're gonna make a knot. It's like a normal knot, but then you can make
Sorry?
2 and 3
Ah,
rounds.
maybe fell down.
And
Or
then
it's
you
this one.
push, so it becomes like a ball.
Sorry.
And then with this, you push more.
Yeah, that happened. So now we cut here.
And then you cut the extremes, and then you burn
We
it.
cut. And then you burn here.
You burn it with the blue part, so it doesn't get black. And it looks as beautiful as this. Super, no? Let's see if you
Here
can
we
repeat it.
burn.
Pressure.
And that's it. It's like nice. Then we do the same on the other side. It has to be more or less equal. And here, remember, 1 and second time, all until the end. We pull, 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 pull until the end.
Hola, español.
And here, just to help, I will use this one, but you can do it with your hand. Now we close here, and then we burn. This is just to melt the ribbon, you know, and then the ribbon closes. Beautiful. Fix a little bit, and this part here. Perfecto, nice. Now we go here back, here back. Now we started. We will cross in the front. We will go under this, stick inside, under this, and inside. You tie it well, and then you make a twist here. Let's say 3-4 times, and then up.
Ladies, one more creation.
Wow. And then you can tie it here. You can tie it everywhere you want. But this is very important because like this you will have the shoe always
What is
good
that?
tight. Beautiful.
The other side.
Over. Yeah.
then under?
There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
There you go. Now pull. a little bit tight back. Yes. And now you make the twist 7 times. The twist have to be tight.
It's an espadrille, the wrap, right?
You might want to do this.
Yes.
Okay.
And then pull
You don't want
and down back.
That's why the leather here.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And then normal. Up, up.
Oh, Kristen, if I'm goofing this up, you do it again.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, and now back again.
Again?
Yes, and there you just tight.
But I think
No, I got
No,
in the
in the
back.
back.
'cause I got
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. You can tight anywhere you want.
I don't want to put that well. I'll let the professional.
Sí, perfecto. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.